Welcome to another episode where we take a look at another metric and look at both its sunny side and its other side. The other day, I talked to you about earnings per share. I told you how, while earnings per share is an important number, it is not almighty. I told you about how you must take great care when you pick EPS in order to compare two companies. And I suggested to you that a far more important number would be return on net worth. Because return on net worth measured what is it that equity shareholders earned on the monies that belonged to them. Today I'll play the devil's advocate and try tell you how there is a other side to RONW. I'm not saying it's the dark side of RONW, but it's a side about which you have to be cautious. It's a side about which you have to be careful, because if you want to know how well a company has used its money, maybe, just maybe, RONW is not the right tool. Let me walk you through a very simple example. Let's for a moment assume that the net worth of the first company is 20 lakhs and that of the second company is 50 lakhs. Net worth is the share capital money raised along with reserves and surplus. Let's say the debt of the first company is 30 lakhs and the second company has no debt, which means that the total capital employed of both companies, which is represented by the sum of net worth and debt, is 50 lakhs. Now let's, for argument's sake, assume that the EBIT of both companies is 10 lakhs. The interest on the first company, the interest outgo for the first company, would be 2,40,000. If you assume that the interest rate or the borrowing rate is 8%. So 8% on 30 lakhs is 2,40,000, which means that the profit before tax of the first company is 7,60,000. And because the second company has no debt, its profit before tax is 10 lakhs. For simplicity, so that we don't complicate issues, we'll assume that the tax rate is 0. This means that the profit after tax for the first company is 7,60,000 and that of the second company is 10 lakhs. You already know how RONW is arrived at. It's the profit available to equity shareholders divided by the net worth. In this case, 7,60,000 divided by 20 lakhs of net worth is 38% for the first company, and the RONW for the second company is only 20% because it is 10 lakhs divided by 50 lakhs. Now from this, if we say that the first company has done great compared to the second company, you're wrong. Even if you are an equity shareholder, you should not get mulled down by the fact that the first company has given 38% RONW and the second has given 20%. You have to look at how well the money has been deployed. And if you look at how well the money has been deployed, or what I would call the productivity of money, the appropriate number is to take the earnings before interest and taxes and divide it by the capital employed. In other words, what is the reward that is being given to those who have brought in money, whether they are shareholders or whether they are debt holders? The earnings before interest and taxes divided by capital employed in both cases is 20%, which means that the money managers of both companies have done exactly alike. Both of them have given 20%. It so happens that the first company's money manager has given the shareholder a substantially better return, almost twice the return that the second company's money manager has given, because he was able to raise debt. He was able to raise debt at 8%. In other words, he borrowed at 8%, invested that at 20%, made an extra return of 12%, and the entire 12% adjusted for debt to equity. To use a finance language, the entire 18% into the debt to equity ratio of 3 by 2, okay, into the debt to equity ratio has given you 38%. Let me lay down the model of the story. RONW is good, but it's good up to a point for you to know how much return your money has earned. But if you want to measure the skill of the money manager, you must know how well has he put your monies to use. And when I say your money, I mean the shareholder and the debt holder's money. And if you want to evaluate that, the amount that you should look at, the percentage that you should look at, the ratio that you should look at is the return on capital employed. Thank you.